It might. Last time we did tours of our operations was in the underground complex just prior to moving above ground, which I think it was '06. So it is rare that we do this. It seems like the public really is enjoying these tours. So we may do more of them in the future. It remains to be seen, but I think we will. It takes a lot of planning to get this ready, though. A lot of planning with security and that to make sure that the public is able to see that.
I was just going to say it is rare because of that. What went into opening the doors, and also in contrast is that you're still keeping up the mission today.
Right, we still are keeping up the mission today, and we just have to change the way we do it while the public is in the room. There is quite a bit of planning. There's the briefings that happen to the public while they're in the operations room, the tour guides, the security screening for everybody to come inside of a secure area.
What does it mean to have the public in there? I mean, this has been truly a well-kept secret.
Yeah, it's nice to have them there. I mean, to see what we do, and especially the people from North Bay who we live with in the community, and it's good for them to be able to see what we actually do here.
When you talk to people in the community, because they don't get an opportunity to see what you do up here, what's the perception that you get from people about what happens up here on a daily basis?
I'm not sure what their perception about what we do here is, but I know the community of North Bay, they've been great to us. We've had some wonderful events with the North Bay community over the last few years, so we really enjoy it.
What are you hoping that the public takes away from the big event?
An appreciation of what we do here, and the importance of our role in NORAD and also in Air Defence of Canada.
The story has changed. I mean, it's been 60 years. You've been below ground, you've moved above ground. What are the stories that you're hearing today, and what's the feeling?
It's funny because I was speaking to somebody who used to be work in the underground complex years ago, and he retired, I think, about 30, 40 years ago, and he was talking to me about what it was like when he worked there, and how things have changed, and how we have the new up-to-date equipment. So it's kind of a different contrast for somebody especially someone who was here, 30 or 40 years ago doing this job.
Can you talk a little bit about how the mission has changed since its inception?
I don't think the mission itself is probably about the same. I mean, without the Cold War, it's changed a little bit. There's probably more emphasis on more recent events over the last 10 or 15 years, but our mission overall has basically stayed the same.
Well, I used to work with the telecommunications company here in North Bay, and I did quite a bit of work down in the hole in the early years. And one of the big things, I think, is we put in the first fiber optic cable down into the hole. I've been back down the hole, but this was all new, and first time through the museum, and certainly through the operations center, and it's quite a change. It's really a different setup. The security is a little more on the easy side than it used to be, but it's very well taken care of. It was very much appreciated at the time.
Was there any, anything that stood out for you that really, I guess, made that leap into the new generation?
Well, I've been at it for so many years before that I left through, but the difference is certainly the quality of surveillance that you've got now, and what you can see and what it can do, including into outer space, which I never realized, but it's really something. And I appreciate every minute of it. Look forward to as I said, I'd like to come back again, but it won't be many years, but it won't be another 60 for sure.
What we're doing here is our job is to track objects in orbit. The reason why we're doing this is there is a lot of objects up there, a lot of man-made objects, a lot of natural debris, and it's moving along at about 11 kilometers per second. And the more satellites and whatnot that we put in orbit, the more we have with risk of collisions. We've had recent collisions. We had a dead Russian satellite that slammed into a communication satellite back in February of 2007. or 2009, sorry, and that caused a lot of extra debris. Now, when this debris is moving around at 11 kilometers per second, the challenge we run into is if you fly your spacecraft through that and get hit by it, it doesn't matter how large or small it is, it can cause a significant amount of damage, possibly even destroy or disable your satellite. And this is one of our primary things here, is to avoid that particular situation from happening. So this is just the beginning part of it. Sapphire is the satellite we are launching in around the end of the first quarter 2012 to accomplish that mission. Right now we're doing it with ground-based telescopes as a practice run, and once the satellite takes over the mission in space, then we'll shut the telescopes down.
This is relatively new. Give me an idea as to, how fast you have to come up to speed and
Well, we're actually joining in with the U.S. Space Surveillance Network as contributing sensors to their existing network. They've been doing this for a while. We actually have been doing this since 1957 to 1992. We were doing it with satellite tracking units in Cold Lake and St. Margaret's. They had Baker-Nunn telescopes, which were overtaken by the digital age, and so we are actually really getting back into the business of surveillance of space.
Is there training? Is there something that you've had to go through, or is this kind of all new and you're feeling your way?
This is very new in some ways. However, my Captain Earl, my ops officer, and myself have both done tours in the U.S. working with other space units. So we've come with space background, and in a lot of ways we are writing the manual for this operations center. That's our primary job, is to set this operations center up to relay the information from our satellite to the U.S. Space Surveillance Network.
This is, there's not too many things we can say that we come together after 60 years, and it's not an ending, it's only really beginning. And it was 60 years ago that the greatest, we can say the greatest infrastructure took place in our community, North Bay and surrounding area. And the legacy of that has taken place, we see today, and some of the largest mining companies that actually live and breathe in our community. Actually, the reason they're here is when we started digging the NORAD complex and going underground, we needed the best people, the best engineers to help this wing grow, and we see the legacy of that today. So 60 years ago, when this started as a small base, a training center, has now become an integral part of our sovereignty and our safety in North America.
What have you learned since you've been an honorary colonel? What didn't you know going in, and what do you know now?
What have I learned? I've learned probably more than this interview could hold in that card of yours. I've learned about the dedication that the people each and every day put into their job, the pride in which they wear the uniform, and the honor I have that I get to put this uniform on for a very short period of time and help tell a little bit of their story. But the work that they do, the brain power that's on this base, and where they're going in the future is just a very exciting time. And the 60th anniversary celebration is bringing 4 generals from across the country here that at one time this was their home, and in the future they say this will be the place that they retire and make their home. It's a very special place here.
Well, CFB North Bay has been practically, it's been kind of the theme throughout my career. I started here as a young lieutenant, even as an officer cadet. I did all my training here to start off as an air weapons controller. I cut my teeth, if you want to say it that way, and then I went off to my first posting. I came back in the middle of my career, and then of course I came back as the wing commander a couple of years back, and I've enjoyed every tour here. I think this has just been the absolute perfect place for me in my career.
What has the 60th anniversary celebration weekend, brought to you, and I guess what kind of stories are you hearing?
Well, it's great to come back and see some of the folks that you worked with, and like I said, there was 3 tours for me, and so I've seen folks that that I worked with as a youngster 30 years ago, and some of the old timers back then are still around here in this region and in this area, and so to see them here at the base brings back a lot of memories about the way that we did things in the underground complex, and just the great folks that you've worked with over a long career.
Looking at the fact that it started underground, it's come above ground. Are there? I guess the question is, those changes. Did it did it change the way that business is done, or do you still carry out the mission the same?
I think we do. I mean, there's a lot of professionalism, a lot of security involved in the mission underground. Same thing really above ground today. You know, the situation dictates that we can do our mission above in the David L. Pitcher facility, and it's a great facility. It's you know, there's more space up above, and so you know, I think we really do. I mean, the youngsters that are doing the mission today are just as dedicated as we were, just as proud of what they do, and I don't know. I think it's just more of the same, but with better equipment, better sensors, better electronics. Yeah.
What's your fondest memory?
Oh boy, there's so many. But I'd have to say it's always been about the people that you work with. I mean, you can think of a million different anecdotes of funny things that people did, or serious stuff that you worked on that came out well, and you know, but it's always, you know, about the people that were behind all that.
What does it mean to have North Bay involved with CFB? You know, the regular folks, you know, down in the city.
Well, that is actually one thing that I think has changed, and you know, really for the positive. The city is so much more involved with what goes on at CFB North Bay 22 Wing than it ever was back of course 30 years ago when I first joined up. So you know, to see the you know, the local you know, the dignitaries, you know, the mayor, you know, our member of parliament, you know, our MLA coming out to all of our events, and you know, and business leaders, and Canadore College, Nipissing University, all these people so integrated with what we do, and we are integrated with what they do. And you know, that I never saw it. Let's just say I never saw it as a lieutenant, but now I particularly enjoyed it as the wing commander.